Hey! This is JJ and Alex.
I made a name for myself. I told you I won't be denied.
As you wrap up your day, it's time to get your fix of the teams you live for and the sports you love. This is JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Hey, welcome on in, everybody. It is another edition of JJ and Alex right here, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. We are in the shadows of the everlasting Delta Center. From within the shadows of the...
A lot of shadows this time of year.
Listen.
And a little bit of a breeze. We are outdoors.
Yeah. We are outdoors.
And you can tell the seasons have changed.
I am... I'm interested to see. We're outside Delta Center because you got the Pacers, you got Jazz Pacers tonight. Second night of a back-to-back. Last night it was the Timberwolves and the Jazz fall, and it wasn't ugly. The 40-point loss.
I liked what I saw from the Jazz
last night. I did too.
Night.
The third quarter was nasty. It was
not
good.
This is the difference between a team like the Timberwolves that's been to the conference finals the last 2 years and the Jazz that are in a rebuild. That's the difference. The other team plays well for 4 quarters, and they typically win those games.
I want to say it was a 19-0 run to start the half for the.
It was rough.
It was, and so the Jazz didn't score for the first 6.5 minutes of the third quarter, and so, that wasn't the funnest third quarter I've sat through. But you know what they did? They fought themselves right back into it. They were down by as much as 22 at one point, and that ended up being a nice little something for this team to be able to hang their hat on a night where Ace Bailey gets his first start ever in the lineup for the Utah Jazz, and on a night where you got to see your old guys coming back to town, Rudy Gobert, Mike Conley, both those guys playing. I mean, obviously Rudy's going to play a bunch of minutes. Mike Conley had some nice minutes, and he was you know why he's on the floor for any team. He's like such a leader.
He's the best, I wish he would have been here longer.
The two official reviews that they had that were both overturned, by the way, in favor of the Timberwolves were both Mike Conley going, "Coach, run it back."
Yeah.
And it was like this. Finch, believe me, dude.
Yeah.
This is wrap it up. Let's take this thing home. And they did. So, man.
Yeah,
the Jazz
33-9, by the way, was that run to open the third quarter. 33-9.
It was not a great third quarter, but they made a game out of it in the fourth. And
but weren't you not entertained? You took the boys last night?
Took the kids, and I'll tell you, it was definitely a pleasant surprise in terms of Keontae George is the story of the season for this team.
Agree.
And I was pleasantly surprised by what Key's been doing, and he kept it going, and he's getting to that spot where guys, when they turn pro, turn a different corner, which is they make a lot fewer mistakes.
Yeah.
They don't look so sloppy.
More efficient.
And guess who's making mistakes and looking sloppy? Ace Bailey. But guess what? He's a rookie.
That's okay.
And, he threw down a massive...
I really enjoyed his mistakes last night. It was fun to watch.
He threw down a massive dunk there.
Over Anthony Edwards?
Toward the end of the game, just so that everybody could go,
stuff.
"Oh, yeah, there's a reason why you like this guy."
Isn't that what we want?
Yeah.
Isn't that what we're looking
Absolutely.
for? We need, Jazz fans, you need hope.
Absolutely.
And Ace Bailey in his minutes last night and that dunk provided you some hope for the future.
So we'll see how this thing rolls out the rest of the way for this Jazz team. But tonight they're facing off against the Pacers, who are coming to town. The Pacers, of course, one of the better teams in the East last year. They're dinged up. Obviously, when you don't have Tyrese Halliburton for the year and you're starting to piecemeal, it feels a little bit like what Boston's doing too, where it's just like, hey, we got to kind of just see what's going to happen this year.
Yeah.
And this might not be our year. Maybe we all take the season off, but we'll see what the Pacers bring to Delta Center tonight. And the Jazz are going to be wearing the
inversion jersey.
The inversion jersey. The city edition, like downtown city edition, where it's and you know what? The weather's cooperating. Look at Mount Olympus over there. Got kind of a gray situation going on.
It's almost inversion season.
So here we
welcome
are.
It.
Well, the new jerseys will
By the
pop
way,
out.
Before we get to our next topic,
yes.
Any guess on what the Pacers record is without looking?
Let's say, oh boy, are they already going Tank City right now? I'm going to say they're a 4-7 team.
Not even close.
What is it?
1-9. 0-5 away from home. And still with all that, they are 2.5-point favorites tonight here in Utah.
No problem. I don't know, but did the odds makers?
Can the Jazz out-tank the Pacers tonight? Can't wait to find out.
Did the odds makers take into account that the Jazz are playing in the new City Edition inversion jerseys?
Well, they saw that Kevin Love was out, so.
Yeah, Kevin Love is
for rest.
He's still an interesting, when you watch him play and you're like, that's why you got to have guys like this on the team. And then at the same time, you're also like, oh, man. Boy, that guy played different, didn't he, back in the day?
Yep.
And, I think he's a good addition to this team.
100%.
You need to have a guy like that on the floor. And when Lauri Markkanen steps off the floor and you have, like, when they switch people out and, they have they'll have Speed come in. They'll have Collier come in. And they have these guys come in and onto the floor. At one point they go, Will Hardy blows the horn, and calls for substitutes. Filipowski walks on the floor. Collier walks on the floor. Ace Bailey walks on the floor. And Speed McCalley walks on the floor. And I went, well, we're all going to grow up pretty quick, aren't we?
Yeah.
So
then there's Kevin Love out there. Kevin's kids.
And that's the thing is, like, Kevin would stand
Kevin Love out there with a bunch of 20-something lottery picks.
It's great. It's great. And he's got the same beard that I do, just salt and pepper. Love to see that guy out on the court. So
he's a future Hall of Famer. It's good to have him here.
We have tons to get through today. It's a massive day, of course, across the world of college football because it's another week of the college football playoff. It's going to be rolled out in the 5 o'clock hour. We'll bring that to you as soon as it's happening. We'll get to watch it right along with you. You'll get to hear it as we announce as those things go on. So JJ and I are going to put together the best estimation that we have of what a college football playoff ranking for this week number 2, should look like. So let's do our best guesses here to see how the Big 12 gets slided, to see what the ACC does in terms of a slide for them. So let's get things kicked off here officially. It is The Cut, top of the program, JJ and Alex. Let's do it.
It's time for the biggest story of the day. This is what made the cut with JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Trajan Wealth brings you this portion of the program. Trajan Wealth is TRAJAN, wealth.com for all your trusted local needs in retirement. Yes, you got look at how awesome our lives are. You've got Jazz Pacers at Delta Center tonight. Tomorrow night, Mammoth Sabres. And you're hoping that team can get back on track here with a home game. And by the way, guess who was sitting courtside last night? Old Bear Tourney. I feel like courtside seats for Bear, like you could tell he didn't feel comfortable. He was like, this is not my he's like, I like this, but at the same time, you know what he was doing? He can't help but just be Bear over in that corner over there. He had his arms folded and just a stern look. It looked like he enjoyed himself a little bit.
I get it because you know what? I have this problem when I go to sporting events and I'm not at work.
Oh.
I can't cheer.
No cheering. Of course.
I don't know how.
No,
I forgot.
It's been beaten out of us,
yeah.
JJ. Like we've watched
20 years of not being allowed to cheer. I don't know how to do it anymore.
I know. So Bear goes out there, does the same thing. I think he knows people have eyes on him and he was down there. I think there were a handful of players with him, and so good to see them out. But the Mammoth and Sabres tomorrow night here at Delta Center. In the meantime, let's talk a little bit about what this college football playoff and the next week of rankings that are going to roll out here in the next hour and a half or so are going to look like. So, per your view, what do you think the biggest shakeup is going to be in the college football playoff rankings this week? Because there were enough teams that lost out, and I don't know. Do we need to do a full top 25? Do we need to do the top 15 maybe?
Because the 15 involves local teams, let's keep it to 15.
Okay.
And I think that's the most important because, honestly, does anybody outside of the 15 have a legitimate chance? I mean, they would have to be a massive move up. Like Pittsburgh beating Notre Dame and winning the ACC title is probably their only chance, right?
Yeah.
Even Georgia Tech at this point, unless whoever wins the ACC championship game is going to go to the playoff. That's it.
What I'm looking forward to is the things I'm going to keep my eye on are where will Texas Tech go from where they were, because of all the upsets that happened over the weekend, it was a tough one because nobody moved in front of them.
Yeah.
And so Indiana, who was at risk of losing to Penn State, they don't get shaken up. You have all these other teams who are just winning in front of them, and so I think Texas Tech probably stays at that 7 spot. So can we do you think that any of these things are going to change? Tell me if you want to change anything.
Yeah.
Ohio State 1. Does Indiana stay 2.
No.
Oh, interesting. See, I thought the
Texas
same
A&M
thing.
is going to move up,
I
and
thought so
Texas
too.
A&M will be number 2 tonight because Indiana had a close call against Penn State, and Penn State does not have a win in Big Ten play.
0-6.
And the committee, if they are true to their word,
they'll say it
based on what things look like in the week. And, of course, Texas A&M boat race Missouri on the road 38-17. Texas A&M is also undefeated in the SEC. Sorry, Indiana. Texas A&M is moving up to 2 tonight. Indiana will drop to number 3.
I don't hate that pick. I'll go right along with you. So let's go Ohio State 1, Texas A&M 2. Indiana does do enough, I think, to stay ahead of, obviously, the one-loss Alabama or Georgia, depending on who you may want to put there, except for Georgia lost to Alabama, right? So they have that head-to-head that they lost. So I'm going to go Indiana 3. Alabama's going to be our 4th team in this week.
Yes.
Do we change that at all?
Because of their win over Georgia head-to-head, they'll stay there.
Georgia 5. Did Texas Tech do enough by beating a number 7th ranked BYU team in the college football playoff to jump over an Ole Miss?
In my opinion, yes, but I think the committee is going to give the nod to Ole Miss.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to stay put, although Ole Miss played the Citadel this week, and what is Ole Miss's best win is Oklahoma.
That's what I was saying is I think that, yeah.
I mean, they beat LSU when they were ranked, but we all know where LSU is now. Oklahoma's their best win. Texas Tech's best win is BYU and Utah, who are in the top 13.
Right. And guess who Ole Miss's only losses to? The team that's right in front of them in the
exactly.
in the playoff
I don't
right now,
think that
Georgia.
they're going to punish Ole Miss. Ole Miss will stay at 6, although I do think Texas Tech belongs at number 6 this week.
Now, here's where it gets a little bit shaky, and BYU losing is the only top 10 shakeup from a loss perspective that you had this week.
Yes.
And so Texas Tech probably moves up to that 7 spot. Oregon goes from 9 to 8. They get the win, of course, and it wasn't super impressive, but guess what? It helped them that Iowa was 20th in the college football playoff.
They're not going to get punished for that. They're going to move up. They're going to move up a spot.
So they go to 8, and then here's where it gets freaking stupid. Here's my question for you.
Because you know what's going to happen.
Notre Dame, who was ranked 10th last week, will likely move up to 9, just by the sake
Correct.
of them being alive
A
and breathing.
6 and a 7-2 Notre Dame.
7-2 Notre Dame,
who beat Navy, who had been ranked 49-10. They will move up a spot.
Okay.
Ahead of a one-loss team.
Here's where it gets even more nasty for you as somebody watching the Big 12 here locally, is and this is where I think it comes into play. A 2-loss Texas team and a 2-loss Oklahoma team will likely be the teams that jump over BYU in the standings. And I've got Texas 10 because they beat Oklahoma in the head-to-head, and Oklahoma 11, both with 2 losses, both not necessarily looking fantastic in those 2 losses. Obviously, Texas's losses are a big deal because they lost to who? Ohio State, and then their other loss was to
Oklahoma.
No, they beat Oklahoma. Texas beat.
Oh, sorry,
Texas
you're
beat
right. I apologize. That's
it was
the other way around. Florida.
It was to Florida. A bad loss to Florida.
Yes, which they should be punished for.
But is that punishing them when they're 10th and at 7-2, and at Oklahoma at 7-2 in this ranking? Because then I've got BYU at 12, and the only reason I've got BYU at 12 is because I've got Utah at 13, and I don't think they can fall past Utah after their one loss coming to a Texas Tech team.
I agree. I think 12 is the backstop for BYU, and unfortunately, I think that's where the committee's going to put them tonight. That would be a 5-spot drop. What happened last year after they lost to Kansas?
Oh, they went. They tumbled pretty far, but it was also one loss, and so I think they did the same thing where they went to like a 12 or a 13 right off the bat. They may have even just been 13, but they went backward by 6 or 7 spots, and then they lost the week after that to Arizona State, and so it was essentially over for them. But you'd be able to tell me
dropped from 6 to 14.
They dropped 8 spots with the one loss. Now, guess what? It was against a Kansas team that had a losing record, right?
Yeah.
Now, a lot of these Big 12 teams fell to Kansas at the end of the year. They kind of ruined a lot of people's seasons. But regardless, they look at those things. They look at moments. And the thing that made everybody – that very first set of rankings where BYU – they were already behind SMU in that ranking. Do you remember this? SMU
Correct.
was 9-1. BYU was 9-1,
Yep.
and they were 13 SMU, 14 BYU, and everybody already went, hold on a minute, what's going on here?
Uh-huh.
And the fix was in early
100%.
on this college football playoff. So I don't know if
see
that's
it
going to
happening
happen again.
In that way, the committee doesn't have to. I don't know. Obviously, BYU would still be alive, but they want to get Texas and Notre Dame up in that top. I swear they do.
Okay, so
They want to give them the benefit of the doubt.
we still haven't talked about an ACC team. And I think that I know that the odds-on favorite for a lot of people are that Vanderbilt, because they won in overtime and they got the win, they're just going to move up in the rankings up to 14. And I don't think that's the case. I think that Georgia Tech, as the top ACC team with only one loss, will jump Vanderbilt. I think.
Oh, you do?
Yes, I think.
No, I think Vanderbilt moves up to 14.
You think they're going to be 14?
100%.
I wish they weren't, because
Another SEC team in the mix.
So Vandy is not totally out of it, but I think that the committee will look and say, hey, you had a bye, that's fine. But I think Vanderbilt, playing Auburn, that just fired their coach, and they go to overtime, and the defense, now here's the other thing, the defense wasn't particularly good, and the committee likes defenses. They like really strong defenses, and that Vanderbilt team doesn't necessarily have the strongest of defense, and they go to overtime at 38-38, and then they end up having that one. I think Georgia Tech may sneak ahead of them, because I think the committee may go, look, we've only got one we've only got one team in the top 15 for the ACC. I can see Georgia Tech being ahead of Vanderbilt. You have Vanderbilt ahead of Georgia Tech, and that's our top 15.
I think they've already made their – I think the committee built this the way they did in the initial rankings.
No, they tear it down every week. Remember, JJ? They tear it down every week.
Right.
That's what they said. Come on.
Well, they've already got Vanderbilt ahead of Georgia Tech, and what happened this week? Vanderbilt beat Auburn. Georgia Tech didn't play anybody, and Georgia Tech lost last time they were out there. Miami beat Syracuse. What would he do? I don't think that – and USC beat Northwestern. I don't think USC did anything. USC is going to move up. So Vanderbilt, Georgia Tech, Miami, USC will all move up, and Vanderbilt will be 14, and then the rest of that order. Virginia, Louisville will drop out. They might drop out entirely, to be honest.
So remember when Tennessee lost 3 games this year, and they were at 25?
Yeah.
So there was enough movement in the teens to have people kind of look around and say, what's going on here? You're going to watch Tennessee go up to probably 20 or 21 this week. You're going to see also –
they'll be right behind USC.
You're going to see another 3-loss team in Iowa probably stay in the college football playoff rankings, because they lost to
but they'll get leapfrogged by Tennessee.
Oh, for sure. Oh,
and
for
Michigan.
Sure. Now, I do think Cincinnati's going to find its way in the college football playoff ranking this week.
They should.
And I think I think what it's going to be is an oversight from the playoff committee last week going, oh, we forgot about that 2-loss Big 12 team who has lost to who? Nebraska early in the season on a neutral site that was, basically a home game for Nebraska. And then they lost to a Utah team that the committee, by their own admission, are like, we like what Utah's doing right now, and they should. So you're not supposed to ding those teams. They have been absolutely brilliant in other games prior to the Utah game this year.
Yeah.
And a slow start against Nebraska, because they had one play that if they could have gotten that one interception back from Baron Morton, they would have probably been – no, I'm saying the wrong guy. Brendan Sorsby. Yeah. Then they would have been they probably would have been a lot higher. So here are the teams, if you are a Utah or BYU fan, that you need to be wary of, okay? The ones that are already in front of you, Texas and Oklahoma, you can't do anything about that. You know why? Because this is set up for people like Texas and Oklahoma with 2 losses. The good news is this. They have extremely difficult roads ahead of them. And the real problem is can you continue to win? Because if they lose, a 3-loss Texas team, if they lose, or if a 3-loss Oklahoma team loses, they'll ding them. It won't be by much.
Right.
They might go right behind a Utah in this type of a ranking. They might be just ahead. They might get leapfrogged by a team like Vanderbilt, but not in Texas's case, because they beat Vanderbilt in the head-to-head, and they want to pretend like that 3rd loss is actually just 2 losses, right? Yeah. Because the first one was the number 1 team in the country.
Right.
And it was the first week of the season. So,
but that Florida loss,
the ones, it's awful. The ones in front of them, you can't do anything about. The ones who deserve to be there, your Texas Techs, your Oregons, until further notice, they don't have other losses. They're a one-loss team, and they're better than you on paper. But I'm not convinced that Notre Dame is better than even Utah or BYU. I'm not convinced that Texas is better than BYU or Utah. Wow. You want me to start singing, Connor? I thought maybe we were going to fire up the karaoke machine. Dadgum. I mean, if you bring music, I'll sing. You know how I am. So regardless, Texas and Oklahoma are sitting there in front, and that's by design. They want to make sure that they can have them there because they are going to be set up to lose. Even if they lose a game, that they could be right there to be able to move up again.
The team to watch behind Utah and that could make a big jump.
Vandy.
USC.
Oh, and they're pretty far down.
They play
right
Iowa
now.
and they play Oregon. If they win those 2 games, you could see them jump, and then they end the season with UCLA.
I think the good news is I don't think they're good enough to beat either of those teams.
I don't think so either.
They could absolutely take 4 losses.
But a 10-2 USC team,
yeah,
that's a team that is going to get consideration.
So
just like Utah would be 10-2.
There's our top 15. Either Vanderbilt or Georgia Tech. That's interchangeable between you and I. And then the rest were kind of in did we agree on everything else?
I think BYU should not fall that far. I think BYU's backstop should be 9, but I think they'll fall to 12.
Are you kidding? Yeah. They're going to go to 12.
You lost on the road to Texas Tech, who's a juggernaut, who's going to be ranked 6th. Whoopity-doo. Most teams in this, even some of the top 5 teams would lose to Texas Tech.
If Texas was ranked 7th and they lost to the 8th-ranked team, where would they go? Probably 10.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
That's where they'd end up.
Yeah.
But BYU did it, and people kind of go,
on the road, banged up. I mean, come on. I think BYU will be judged harshly.
They'll say you were down 26-0 going into the fourth quarter.
Right. And your offense is bad. The metrics say your offense isn't very good.
So those are going to be all the arguments I think that you'll see. So, all right. I actually want to see how wrong we are. You know what I mean? Like we sort of
want to be wrong on BYU.
We went a little bit chalk on this because we know how the committee likes to play.
The Texas A&M leap is,
that's not too crazy. But
no,
I think that,
it is a bold.
It's a move to tell Indiana, thanks for winning.
As dominant as Indiana has been all year.
Yeah.
To ding them for losing at Penn State.
Right. For winning at Penn State.
I mean, sorry, but almost losing.
Right. It was a close game.
They needed a miracle catch, basically.
It is funny to
think.
Game. So you're going to say, yeah, but you didn't win that game handily. So those are things that the committee take into account.
Right.
So bad losses versus good losses, those are supposed to be things that come up. So is it going to be a good enough loss for BYU to not have to fall that far behind? Do you feel comfortable putting a Notre Dame team ahead of those?
The committee did this to BYU last year. They're going to do it to BYU again.
All right. Yeah, I don't doubt it. So there you go.
And it sucks.
We will take our first break of the day. We'll come back. We've got sound fresh from the University of Utah and the conversations, of course, with some of the players. We've got Devon Dampier. We've got Wayshawn Parker getting ready for the rest of their season that is, frankly, right in front of them. And all they can do is keep winning, which I think they'll do, and that's all you can ask them to do. But they're in a really good spot, I think, to be able to just keep grabbing the attention of the College Football Playoff Committee and to hang their hat on losses to Texas Tech and BYU and say, yeah, and then since then we've been blowing everybody out of the water. And no one wants to play us right now. I mean, honestly, that would be a great argument for them. And could they be a team that would be possible second or third ad for the Big 12 into the College Football Playoff? We'll take a break. We'll come back. We are live outside Delta Center. It's the Jazz and the Pacers tonight. Everybody's rolling out the city jerseys this week. If you're at home, you're playing in those city jerseys. Everybody's seeing them across the league, including the Utah Jazz. Those went on sale officially today at the team store. So we'll take a break. We'll come back. We got more to go. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
Let's go!
Complete game coverage of the Cougars is right here on the KSL Sports Zone. The Cougars return home for a battle against TCU. Your home for the best coverage of Cougar football is right here on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. You're locked on to JJ and Alex on 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us on the program, everybody. Thanks for hanging out with us on a game day. We're outside Delta Center. Jazz Pacers tonight, 7 o'clock tip-off. They got the new jerseys they're going to roll out, and so we're there. Oh, we got so JJ and I rolled out our predictions. I'm interested to see how they do this thing tonight with the college football playoff rankings. But at 5 o'clock,
tell us a lot about what they think of BYU.
Yeah, and you know what is great, I think, honestly, so Utah needs BYU to beat Cincinnati, right?
Oh, 100%.
And they need them to just keep winning. and it's a weird place to be.
Well,
but
at this point, it's tricky because – are you talking about to get to the Big 12 championship game?
Not necessarily. That's why I think it's interesting, because I think if –
So there's two different point of views here. Because if you're a Utah fan and you've given up hope of going to the Big 12 championship game, you want BYU and Texas Tech as high as possible in that college football playoff ranking, because those are your only losses.
Yes.
And everything else looks quality. That pushes you up and could get 3 teams in. If BYU goes on a slide, yeah, you may get in the Big 12 championship game, but that doesn't. But BYU would have to go on a slide. Like they'd have to lose 2 more games.
Yeah, and I think that.
So, and then that weakens your resume for the college football playoff.
Yes.
And then it's all for broke in the Big 12 championship game against the Texas Tech team that you already lost to big.
Conversely, your Utah win, you're hanging your hat on that thing if they keep rolling. And so Utah or BYU fans need Utah to keep rolling. They've already played each other, so there's no point of doing the whole hate those guys. Look, you like each other right now. You better figure it out.
You know.
I know. I'm asking the impossible, but what I'm saying is they definitely need each other right now.
It's totally the truth that BYU and Utah both need each other to win out.
I think Utah could be one of these teams that just look. If they're at 13 again tonight, and they had a bye, I could see them not moving up. I would hate to see them move down for no reason. Just for the sake of the committee being able to put BYU even further down as well.
Here's the truth. I know we're going to get to the Utes here shortly, but to your point, essentially what the playoff is now, because the group of 5 is going to get one and the ACC is going to get one. So essentially what you're looking at is who are the top 10 teams in the country.
Yeah.
Do you believe BYU and or Utah are top 10 teams? Do you believe that? And that's the question you have to ask yourself when it comes to the college football playoff, because that's what it's going to be. Yeah. The top 10 teams in the country are going to get in. And then the addition of the ACC and the group of 5 champions. That's what it's going to be.
Like just, hey, ACC, you had a great run. Last year was fun to get a couple teams in.
I'm telling you, if you're a BYU and a Utah fan, you're cheering for Pitt to beat Notre Dame.
Oh, yeah. Oh, for sure.
Which is very possible. Pitt's a good football team now in the top 25. That's something to watch. And then, of course, Texas needs to lose those big games. An 8-4 Texas, that's what you want.
Hey, before we fire up and you can listen to some audio here of Devon Dampier and Wayshawn Parker, let's get to giving away some tickets here. It's a Jazz Ticket Tuesday. Caller number 12 right now is going to get tickets to the Jazz Hawks coming up on Thursday at Delta Center. 801-575-ZONE. That's 801-575-ZONE. 801-575-9663 all season long. We're giving away tickets to the Utah Jazz, and we want to be able to have you and somebody you love come hang out at Delta Center, watch these games, and watch this fun young team here. It's really fun to be a part of. It's really cool to watch. So call in number 12 right now, 801-575-ZONE. for the Jazz Hawks on Thursday. All right, Devon Dampier, the quarterback for the Utes, sitting down for media availability. Here's what he had to say about getting ready for this Baylor team this week. All eyes on what they can do in Waco.
Man, I feel good. We got the good time off. Body gets to heal. But yeah, I'm excited to be back with my guys. Back to the grind. We know we got to win out from here to accomplish our goals. So excited to be back for sure.
What was your reaction to that initial college football ranking?
That's what y'all doing? It's hard to lock in. Y'all all shooting webs at me, very, very fortunate. I'm very happy that, we got the ranking we did. Just to be able to get in through the championship or just through, the rankings. It gives us a great chance to get in there. That's our goal. So I'm very happy that that's doable for us.
What was the message throughout the bye week in terms of getting set for these final 3 games?
Yeah, enjoy this time off, but get healthy. But we got to win out. Simple as that. 1 week at a time, and that's the message. We go against Baylor this week. That's all our focus is on.
Dev, what did you do during the bye week to just kind of refresh? You go see family? Walk me through that.
Yeah, I went to Arizona, got to be with my family, my mom and dad. Those are two important people to me. My brother was there as well, so just to be back with them, just clears my mind from football, allows me to remember, I'm a human being again, and back to the grind.
Devon, what are your thoughts on the Baylor defense?
I think they're talented. I think they're a talented group. They've played very well against other people as well. So just the way we're going to attack them in schemes like that, I think it's going to be a great challenge for us.
Kyle talked about leadership as how he would define just the best trait of this team. Obviously, you've been a big part of that. What does from day one to now sort of look like in that process of just having guys together, building a brotherhood, and all of that?
Yeah, I think something significant about all us leaders on our team, who was voted leaders, or our captains, we earned that respect from the beginning. Not only verbally, but obviously physically. We've shown that since day one. So when your team follows along, that shows self-leadership too. It takes each individual to tell themselves to follow lead. And, I think we're just at a point where everyone's starting to play for each other. It's more than just everyone's playing single-handedly. Everyone's playing for each other, and, that tends to make our team, better, elevated.
You've led one of the top offenses in the country this season. What's going to be the key to kind of make that last evolution to finish the season out?
Yeah, just keep being efficient. I think that's one of the biggest things we do. We tend to stay on the field. We get our third downs. Normally get our fourth downs when we go for them. So, just keep that going. I think that's honestly what's keep moving the sticks for us, and that's what gets us in the end zone.
Devon, what has Daniel Bray meant to this offense now that he's been able to be a part of it?
Yeah, such a huge piece. Very happy how he came out. For a freshman to have that impact as soon as he got out there, and as fast as he did, he's already a star back there. So, huge kudos to him. But that just goes to the whole offense. I think we work in a way where the defense has to respect us in all ways, and Bray's able to take advantage of that when he gets the ball in his hands.
Man, that guy's got a smile on his face all the time, doesn't he?
Yeah, you get why his teammates love him, his coaches love him. He's an infectious personality.
No one's going to harass. Positive. No one's going to harass you during an interview if they don't like you.
Oh no, he's great. He really is. And when healthy, he's a great quarterback. There's no doubt about it.
So
he's been great for the University of Utah.
Somebody who's turned a massive corner too, it has been. I thought you made a brilliant point when we were talking about this, and we talked about it with Sly too, about how when other guys in front of you are playing really well, like Wayshawn Parker underperformed, and he didn't practice well even. Like apparently, according to a lot of folks, they were like, yeah, he's in practice, he's fine, But then he turns it on during the game. But he hadn't really turned it on during games as much, right? And so I think what you saw was a guy who found himself a little bit over the past few weeks and has become a really, really key part of this offense. And look, part of the reason was because, look, Daniel Bray, you can't ignore what he's been doing, right? And so if you're a running
all those
back,
guys were playing. They had several guys in the backfield that were, doing well and getting chances.
Yeah. But if you're watching Daniel Bray,
even Andrews before he got hurt playing the tight end would get some direct snaps and getting some of those type.
And they go, hey, look, what about this guy who's getting all these touches? He has a 100-yard game against BYU. That became a big part of what they turned that jet sweep into. They went full Aaron Roderick on the jet sweep over the next few weeks after that because it was absolutely effective.
Nakari Rogers leads the team in rushing touchdowns with 8.
Crazy. So here's Wayshawn Parker talking a little bit about what his role has now turned into with this and what he's done to kind of make that turn and to become that key guy running the football for Utah.
Just my mindset. This year hasn't been pretty. I haven't touched 100. So them last 2 games that I touched 100 in, I challenged myself really hard that I got to do it.
You've had kind of a lighter workload earlier in the season. How are you feeling now that we've kind of hit the final 3 games?
I feel great. Sadly that my sophomore year is coming up. But, I feel great. I feel that we're doing a great job as a team, and that we're going to go handle business these next 3 weeks.
How has it helped you to kind of have a split load in the season early on, and now that you're kind of taking on? Did that help you at all, just in terms of fresh legs and all of that?
I mean, I know the coaches had it planned. Not still doing his thing. The one thing that I would say is that both of us are still challenging each other, no matter what. No matter who gets the carries that game, we're still going to be like, okay, let's go out there, let's get 100. Like, let's both go do it. If not, one of us going to do it for sure.
What's Daniel Bray done to kind of keep the run game, unique and open things up for you even?
Oh, he's been doing a great job. I mean, all them flops, all the sweeps, he's handling it. I mean, coming in as a freshman, knowing what he's doing, and doing what he's doing to the best, it's opened up the game for sure. I mean, when he gets that ball, he's going to make it happen. That's why they're afraid of him and the running backs in the back.
The next 3 games, the run defenses aren't the best in the Big 12. How does that change your approach, knowing that you guys might be able to get it done pretty easily on the ground?
I mean, that's not changing my approach to anything. I mean, these teams can come out here and stop us, but we can also run over them. So our mindset's still going to be the same as it was week 1. Go out there and ball out, play the game. I mean, let the game come to us and be hungry always.
You guys have a chance as a team to potentially get the most rushing yards of all time in program history. What does that mean to you guys to just know that you're going to continue to do this and you're going to kind of force that on people?
I mean, it's great. Not really. I didn't know that. But, yeah, it's great having that feeling that we can beat a record. It's always going to be great, but like I said before, we just hungry, so we trying to make it to the next level. This level is just like a little pit stop. Let's go to the next level.
You guys were ranked 13 in the initial college football playoff ranking. You talk about being hungry. Does seeing that you guys are so close to being at an at-large, does that motivate you guys even more?
I mean, seeing that we was ranked before and then we dropped down, so it just really says rank ain't anything. I mean, it's lovely that we're number 13, but I want to be higher. Like, I want to be number 1. So we're going to throw that to the side, like act like it's not there. Let's act like we're not ranked, and we want to be underdogs.
We want to be underdogs. That's the chip on the shoulder. Even if everybody knows right now, man, Utah might be the toughest team in this conference to face off against. Texas Tech and Utah look like those teams right now. BYU licking their wounds, trying to figure out how to get back to that. You do have to just make yourself – you got to make yourself be seen again. And Utah's being seen the last few weeks because of how much they're putting it on these other teams and how easy they're making it look on both sides of the ball, JJ.
Yeah, and Wayshawn Parker's turned a corner since we're on the topic of Wayshawn. His last 2 games, 10 carries, 145 yards and a touchdown against Colorado. Cincinnati, 17 carries, 104 yards and a touchdown against Cincinnati. And Coach Whittingham mentioned that this week he's separating himself at that position where they have a lot of depth, and they've had a lot. Nakari Rogers has been great. You mentioned Daniel Bray coming on, and obviously Devon Dampier and Burt Ficklin have had their share of runs as well. But there were counting 4 games this year where Wayshawn Parker did not reach double figures in carries.
Yeah.
And coming in, we're like, this guy could be a 1,000-yard rusher. And it got to the point where after the BYU game when he runs for 23 yards, you're like, I don't know, is this really working out the way Utah and Wayshawn hoped it would? And then, boom, all of a sudden he turns the corner. And now with 4 games left, obviously 3 regular season games and probably some form of bowl game and or playoff or whatever, he's at 607 right now. We mentioned before the season started, Utah needs a 1,000-yard back to reach their goals, and Wayshawn Parker, while he's been a little bit behind, has caught up in that pace, and it is possible if he averages 100 yards per game that he could reach that 1,000-yard plateau. So that's something to watch, and it feels to me like if he's going to be running the ball like that and be that explosive, that's only going to help Utah's chances of continuing this dominant run that they're on right now.
We'll take a break. We'll come back. We're outside Delta Center. Jazz versus Pacers tonight. Coming up right after our broadcast. We'll get you ready, get you on the started up with pregame, of course, right when our program ends, and then you're going to be able to get tip-off at 7 o'clock right here at Delta Center. We'll take a break. We'll come back. We've got more. We have a Would You Rather around the corner next. Stay here, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Listen, everybody. Real-life hypotheticals to get your brain churning. As JJ and Alex ask, would you rather?
All right, everybody, welcome back. JJ and Alex, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Thanks for being with us. We are broadcasting outside Delta Center live right now. Jazz Pacers tonight. tomorrow it's going to be Mammoth v. Sabres, and so lots of action going on over here at Delta Center the next couple of days as your two local teams are going to be back-to-back nights. The Jazz, of course, are already back-to-back because they played last night, falling to the Minnesota Timberwolves right here in town. I'm trying to think about how I wanted to phrase this, JJ. So let me just ruminate on it for 1 second here while I tell you this. Win Ticket Wednesday, every Wednesday, on this very station. That's tomorrow. What do you have? You got a chance to win tickets to the Holiday Lights at Ballpark at America First Square. Brand new immersive holiday tradition opening up on November 14th. That's this week. So reserve your tickets at theballpark@afs.com. That's theballpark@afs.com. Listen to the KSL Sports Zone all day long tomorrow, and we'll hand out some tickets all day long. So the way I was trying to think about this was win a Big 12 championship and go on to the college football playoff. Obviously, if you win the Big 12 championship, that's the reward that you get.
Yep.
But you lose in the first round of the college football playoff.
Yeah.
Or you back in as a non-champion, get the at-large bid, and you win one quarterfinal game.
Win the one quarterfinal game.
What about being conference champion? That doesn't mean anything anymore?
Winning a college football playoff game, do you have any idea what that would do for either BYU or Utah? With recruiting, did Ohio State win the Big Ten championship last year?
I don't think they've
Who won it?
I don't think they've won it in years, it feels like.
Right.
But they
so
won the
Oregon did, and where'd that get them?
Yeah.
So that answers your question. Ohio State showed you last year how important it is to win playoff games. The other stuff doesn't really matter at this point.
Well, think about
it. Don't get me wrong. It would be amazing to win a Big 12 championship. But what's more important? Winning a playoff game, advancing in the playoffs, getting farther than any Big 12 team yet has done. That would be more important.
All right, I'm convinced. I'll take that action.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm convinced on it. I do think there's that part of you that kind of goes, yeah. And when you do go to the college football playoff and you lose, a la the way SMU did, or
Indiana
Clemson,
last year, how did that hurt Indiana last year? How did it hurt them? Look what they're at now.
Yeah, that's true.
The momentum they've built from that.
Just getting there.
One of the reasons why Notre Dame is getting so much of the benefit of the doubt with 2 losses is because they were in the national championship game last year.
So even just getting there and losing is better. Like
100%.
Obviously, if you're a conference
it's
champion,
like, would you rather win the NIT or lose in the first round of the NCAA tournament? You'd rather lose in the first round of the NCAA tournament.
I don't know. Although they don't play.
Nobody cares
they don't
if you
play
make the
Madison Square
NIT
Garden anymore, do they?
They do not.
They're
it's in Vegas.
From the Thomas and Mack Center in beautiful Las Vegas.
Yeah, playing in Vegas in April.
The NIT.
In a basketball tournament nobody cares
All right,
about.
We'll take a break. We've got more to go around the corner. Stay with us. 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.